What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the All Sports Best podcast. I'm Trey Gonzalez, and I'm here with two special guests, two wrestlers for the Cavegirls, and that's actually something that we've never had on the podcast, so I'm excited to ask you guys a lot of questions. I got tons of questions for you. Got Andrea Ramirez and Mya Cornejo. Yes? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Awesome. Both seniors.
Sir.
Yes.
So, what year are you guys in for wrestling? Like, how many years have you been doing it?
I've been doing it for 5 years.
Okay.
I've been doing it for 4 years.
So you guys have been doing it for a while. I just thought this was somewhat new. I met Andrea last year, and I asked her, like, oh, what do you do? Because she always hung out with another athlete, and she said that she wrestled. So I just thought, oh, okay, cool. That's something that's kind of starting maybe. But it's been going on for a while for the high school. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So tell me about this, because all I ever hear about wrestling, or not all I ever hear, but a big thing that I hear is the conditioning is pretty gruesome. It's tough. Can you tell me about it? Is it like the hardest conditioning you've ever done?
I think so, yeah. It's because it's like I guess it's because we mainly focus on it. Like, it's really focused on. So it's like takes up like almost half of the practice.
Yeah.
Not even half, like more than half.
Sure.
So.
Okay. And so, like, when you focus on conditioning, obviously that's a big part of what you're doing in your match, right? You've got to outlast the other person because of because technique starts to get flawed. Is that why technique starts to get flawed if you're tired?
Yeah, like it really drains like your mobility, I guess, and then you just start not thinking more, and it mostly just focuses on who can like survive longer.
Sure. Okay. So, what is the hardest conditioning to you, Andrea?
I feel like maybe 45 minutes of hell, because sometimes we do cone runs, which is where you sprint on one side and you jog the other side, and then we drill, and then we sometimes do another cone run, and then we drill again, and sometimes another one. So
Wow.
it really just depends how our coach feels that day.
So it's 45 minutes of the running, and then what is drilling?
Just like practicing like our moves and stuff. He just calls out moves and we start doing them, and then he calls out another and then we just start doing them just like that without stop.
And that's like phantom moves? Like, you're not doing it on somebody, you're doing it like, I don't know, I'm trying to act like I know what I'm doing. I don't know anything. But you're just doing it in like, basically visioning it and doing it yourself, or?
No, we do it with the partner.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Okay. What about you? What do you think's the hardest part of conditioning?
Probably sprints too. Like
Yeah.
I've just never been good at running, so when we do it, we do like cone runs is we sprint the middle, and then we at the end we do like a whole minute of just sprinting at the end, and it's bad.
Yeah.
It's really tiring.
That's tough. Okay. Tell me about your mental game in wrestling. Like, when you go out on the mat, you can't be super scared, super intimidated, because you've already lost part of the match, right? How do you guys stay tough?
I don't know. I just kind of like don't think, I guess. I just ignore the other person, and once I get on the mat, like that's it. Like, I'm on the mat, I just wrestle, and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
nothing really comes to mind. I don't want to say like I think I'm better than them, but I just go out and just wrestle, because I don't know what they're gonna do. They don't know what I'm gonna do.
Sure.
So.
Okay. What about you?
I mostly just listen, like, I like have my volume for my music all the way up. That way I'm like not nervous, and I just focus on the music, and it just like calms me down. So by the time like I'm up, I just take my headphones on, and then I'm ready to wrestle.
Sure. The sports that I'm really familiar with, baseball, basketball, football, a lot of those sports you can go and look at film, and you can study like tendencies. This person does this, and so we can prepare for that. How do you guys prepare for, a big opponent, maybe in district or regionals, when they're coming up? Do you just go by hearsay? You watch them? Is there film? How do you guys prepare?
Well, we do have film, but like we don't really get sent the film. So we personally have to like record our matches and everything. We always have someone in the corner to record it. And I mean, we can watch them and whatnot. I personally don't, just because I have a hard time remembering like my opponents and everything. I just like to think that we're on equal footing, so that when I go out, I don't really like prepare, I guess. I just
Sure.
go and and get it done.
Yeah. Heck yeah. All right. What about you? How do you prepare for certain opponents?
I don't know. I like, once again, just listen to music. Just
Okay.
drain my ears out because I feel like that's what's best.
Yeah.
Because if not, then I just think about it too much and it gets in my head.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Who gives you guys the most competition at practice? Do you guys wrestle each other? Like, who do you guys go up against?
I personally, I go up against my brother, but I mean, because he's my brother and he's younger, I just like punk him a lot. So
Sure.
It's not really like competition. But I mean, we all kind of push each other during like conditioning, like since it makes up most of the things. But practice wise, like you just kind of have to find someone that works best with you. And it's not really like who is like, I don't know, like better than you or something
Sure.
like that.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, what is your, like, one of the things that you guys worked on and focused on sharpening throughout the off season to get better for this year?
I guess a bit of running. I was always bad at conditioning, but off season I feel like most of us really take a big break, so none of us really work like a lot. But I know lifting and conditioning and eating good is like one of like the three main things that a lot of us do before season, like on the off season.
Sure. What about you? Would you sharpen, or did you do the same thing, just kind of relaxed and healed?
Well, yeah, I did relax, but there's also freestyle, which is another form of wrestling, and I like went to the practices and stuff just to like keep me a little bit conditioned. So,
What's the difference between like wrestling and freestyle?
well, in wrestling, you can't like suplex them and stuff.
You can't pull them over your
Yeah.
back or
And
whatever?
you can't lock your hands in wrestling, and in like freestyle it's like more free, like in the name. And you can just like throw people around and stuff, and you can lock your hands. You can just basically do whatever.
Do you throw people around?
Yeah.
You're like, humbly, yes, I definitely do. Okay. And do you ever try freestyle, or that's kind of something you just like?
I never liked it.
No?
I did it once, I think sophomore year, and then after that, it just wasn't for me. And I mean,
Okay.
that's the one that colleges really focus on, but I'm not really planning on going to college anyway, so I just never put my effort into
Sure.
freestyle.
So, just going back to the freestyle thing, because it's interesting to me. In regular wrestling, you can't lock your hands. You have to always keep them separate, or?
Well, if they're standing up, you can lock your hands to like bring them back down. But like if their legs are on the ground and their hands are touching too, then and you're locking your hands, they'll give you a caution.
Oh, okay.
Or when you're down too, you can't lock your hands whatsoever. It's just like when you're like lifting them to like throw them back on the mat.
Okay. Do you feel like because you wrestle, because you guys are, working that technique, you guys are comfortable with essentially fighting, like grappling, I guess, that if like in real life you just feel a little more confident?
I don't know, because I feel like wrestling moves are like super specific. So
Okay.
like to just hit someone with the wrestling move would be kind of like random. But I mean,
Okay.
I've seen fights where someone just gets like totally lifted up and just
Yeah.
gets thrown on the floor, which is what we do. So
Sure.
it could work, but I don't
Like
know.
you're not going to be, what is it called when you're like down on all fours and then it's like, that's how you start? What is that called?
That's just bottom position. Like
Okay.
that's what it's called.
Like somebody's just going to do that when you're getting ready for a fight
Yeah.
or something like that. Probably not going to happen.
Like you can't just like get ready for a fight and instead of like going like this, you can't just like get it mid steps
sure.
or something.
It's not going to be an even, fair match.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay. What's it like to wrestle in a male-dominant sport? Like knowing that, for a long time it was mostly guys, right? Like, and you guys have a team of 12, which is incredible. That's really cool. What's it like? You guys do you face off against guys too in practice, or have you guys ever had to wrestle against a guy in a real match?
Well, in a real match, no. But
Okay.
like at practice, yeah, because my practice partner's a guy, so
Do you feel like that helps you then too?
yeah, he pushes me a lot.
Sure. No, I bet. Absolutely. Okay. But is it like, I don't know, was it something that was hard to start doing for you guys? Or how did you guys get convinced? Was it coach? Was it a friend?
I think it was just honestly like yourself. Like you have to be like confident in yourself to just go and like feel like you're on equal footing with the boys. And
Yeah.
like that's how I felt when I first started practicing with like one of the guys or my brother. I just felt like, I mean, not to be rude or anything, but sometimes it's just you don't get that a good push at practice when you practice with like the other girls because they're either gonna be like slightly like ways less than you or their skills just like not on par, I guess. And so when you practice with like the boys, like it's a little bit harder since you know they tend to be stronger and everything.
Sure. So you guys get kind of an advantage,
Yeah.
because of that. Okay, cool. And what was it for you that like convinced you to come out and play and wrestle?
Well, my friend, she was like basically the only wrestler there, and she like convinced me to do it because I used to do soccer before, and she's like, "You're aggressive. You would like wrestling." And I was like, "Okay, I'll try it out."
Wow, it was that easy?
Yeah. Well, my brother's been convincing me, so I could have been like there since 8th grade, but I don't know. He sucked, so.
Okay. All right. What does it mean to be a team in wrestling? Why is it a team? Because it's an individual sport, right? How do you guys contribute to the team?
Well, I mean, during practices a lot too. Like that's one of the main things is just us like pushing each other and being there for each other. Like whether it's on like in season or out of season. Like we honestly hang out too, like outside of wrestling. So
Yeah.
us being a team and like pushing each other and encouraging each other is really a good thing, like a major thing because I mean it could bring down you or it could build you up. So that's one. And then tournaments actually it does matter like for a team because you can get team points.
Okay.
So at tournaments the more your team is like getting up and going up in the bracket, like the more points you'll gain as like a team.
Sure.
So that's
Okay. Yeah, and that's what I was wondering too. Like you know, I think that's kind of similar in other sports like tennis and stuff like that, where they are kind of trying to contribute to their team score. But okay, very cool. That's interesting. All right. How do you guys? I know you said you drown yourself out in music, but do you guys ever do anything to try and get in your opponent's mind early, or look at them a certain way, or do a battle cry before you walk out there? Like, what do you guys do to try and intimidate?
People do like crazy stuff like that.
Really?
It honestly, it kind of makes me mad more because I just think it looks so ridiculous because people will like slap themselves hard or like jump up in the sky and I'm just like, it's not that serious. Like, I don't know. They just look kind of silly doing it.
Sure.
Me personally, I just keep to myself in my corner and I just walk back and forth. I guess intimidating wise, I've been told I wear a poncho like to tournaments, and people tell me like it's cool and like it low key intimidates them. Which I mean, I wasn't really trying to do. I was just trying to like just have it on to be cool, I guess. But yeah, I guess
Just style
it works.
a little bit.
Yeah, I guess it works.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. What about for you? They're just like, how can she listen to music that loud? She must be crazy.
Oh, it's just if I don't want to think about it too much, so I just drown myself in music.
Sure.
And I just walk back and forth until I'm up.
What music do you listen to when you're getting ready?
Spanish music,
Okay. Very cool. Like what kind?
corridos.
Okay. What about you? Do you listen to music before?
Yeah.
What kind of music do you listen to?
A mix, like just anything that like hits hard for me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have these headphones that are like bass boosted. So like the more the song is like bass boosted, that's what hypes me up.
Your whole head's vibrating.
Yeah, I get a headache before a match a bit.
That's always a good way to start, huh? Okay. Very cool. Do you guys have rivals in like when you step out or you go to a tournament, you see this person and you're just like, I got to beat him this time or something like that?
I do.
Yeah? Do they know it?
Maybe.
Okay.
Girl from Artesia.
Oh, okay. Is it just because they're from Artesia and it's a rival of us, or it's like you see them all the time and you just want to beat them?
I see them all the time. And I want to beat them.
Have you beaten them before?
Huh?
Have you beaten them before?
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time?
No.
Oh, okay. So it's a back and forth. So it's a good match then. Okay. What about you?
No, because I just have a really, really bad habit of just forgetting each and every single one of my opponent,
Okay.
which is a bad, bad habit to have. But once once I get off of the mat after the match, I just forget all about it basically, which is bad. But yeah.
I think it's a bad thing and a good thing though.
Yeah.
Because it's like, whatever happened, it's in the past.
Yeah, and then what happens in the future is like I'm clear, like my mind is clear.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Okay. Speaking of stepping off the mat, what do you guys do after a match, after you just went and just got exhausted? How do you recover? Is it rest, ice, hot tub, all the above? What do you guys do? What are some things?
Probably just sleep or like we're allowed to have our phones, so I think most of us just like scroll on our phones, talk to each other. We talk in the stands and go to our teammates' matches too.
Okay.
Like I think most of us enjoy actually watching the other people wrestle. It doesn't even have to be our teammates. It could be all the other matches. And we just sit down and watch, and that's about it.
Okay. And what about for you?
Well, I mostly just like sit there. Like if it's out, like if it's after like a match that was like the whole periods or 3 periods or overtime, I usually just sit there and stare at the wall or something.
Just completely clear out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because I just think like football, there's like 65 trainers on the sideline, baseball's got 3 or 4 like people ready to help, sometimes just a couple, but all these sports, no matter how big they are, they have the trainers or so. You guys don't have the trainers with you, or do you?
Not like from our school, no.
Okay.
But there are some. It just depends on the school, really. If the school's like big, then yeah, they'll have like 4 trainers on the side. If the school's not that big, then sometimes you have to go to the trainer. But I mean, they'll have them there.
Okay. So the trainers are just by the host gym then?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. All right. But you guys don't, so you guys just go do your thing, get exhausted, tire out your body, and you don't go home and like throw ice on your knees or like anything like that? No recovery?
Not
Wow, that's
really, no.
crazy. That's barbaric, guys. All right. All right. So do you feel, how do you feel like the skills you've learned in wrestling can translate to the real world? If not like actual technique, maybe some mental skills or habits that you guys have formed?
Definitely discipline. That's one of our like major things that is like put onto us is we're very disciplined, I guess. I mean, sometimes we have our moments here and there, but
Sure.
But yeah, that's one thing our coach just drills into our head all the time is just being disciplined and disciplined, whether it's in wrestling and outside of wrestling, and it's worked for a lot of us.
Sure. Okay. When it comes to weight, have you guys basically stuck around your weight class, or do you guys have to do cutting? If you have to cut, how do you guys do it?
I'm unfortunate, so I'm always at least like 6 pounds over by the weekend, and then I have to cut. But cutting, I mean, it's hard, but it's not that hard. It just depends on yourself, I guess. How much you really want to get to the weight you have to be.
Sure.
So, but it's not that bad as much people put it. I guess it just depends on yourself, though.
Well, when you say 6 pounds, do you mean like I've got to lose this in a day's time, a week's time? Like, what is that?
I have to lose in like a week's time. It's just before the tournament because we weigh in like on the day of the tournament. So say like Thursday, I had to weigh in Thursday morning. No, I had to weigh in Friday morning. Yeah, at 134. But right now I'm probably weighing like 140.
Okay.
So I
So
have to lose
then
like 6 pounds.
as soon as you get off the scale, you can go and just like do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of a consolation prize. So you've got something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about you, Andrea?
Well, like through like most of the years, I didn't have to cut because I was always like 5 pounds under. But this year I do, and well, it's not that much, but it's probably like 2 or 3 sometimes. But
So what do you
lately-
guys do?
I guess just extra. A lot of us wear like long sleeve clothes and sweatpants a lot to sweat, Then sometimes we can go on like extra runs and stuff, get that in. And then just watching what you eat, really. Like, especially on the last 2 days, if you're still like really over, then most likely like you just got to reduce how much you eat. That's just the reality of it.
So you guys are out there at school just trying to sweat.
I wouldn't say at school.
No?
You just
Like at practice, yeah.
So at school you just do your normal thing, and then after it's just get back to the grind.
Yep.
So you can take that whole day off without having. I feel like that's a lot of time you're wasting. No,
Probably, but
you're like, I am not sweating
Yeah.
at school like that. Okay, all right. And what about you? Same kind of deal. You guys
Yeah.
use trash bags anymore, where you guys put trash bags over you and run and stuff?
if it's like super, super bad, yeah. Like if
Okay.
you're like 15 pounds over, then probably
Yeah.
recommended.
Okay.
you just layer and then go for a run, or get in a sauna suit and go for a run.
Do you guys have access to saunas themselves?
I think no, not like at the school or anything.
Okay.
But I mean, you can always go to just a gym or something.
Yeah, I was gonna
They'll
say
normally
that
have some.
seems like a good way to just get
Yeah.
nasty sweaty. It seems like. Yeah, because I remember. So I was 12 years old, and I had to. You have to weigh a certain weight to be able to carry the ball when you're in Little Caveman. So I was like 10 or 11 pounds over. So in a week, I had to lose that amount. And I just remember, because this is what I think you guys did, but I guess maybe not. I ate like 1 can of tuna at lunch, 1 at night, and I just like ran and drank water. And that was like all I did for a whole week. And it worked. It was miserable though. But it doesn't seem like you guys are that miserable. You guys just sweat.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It just depends on like how it depends on like your body though. Like if you can lose it that easily, then you lose it that easily. But if your body like really sticks onto it, then yeah, you're gonna have to like really reduce like how you eat and everything.
Sure. Okay.
Starve yourself.
Yeah, basically.
How do you guys eat? Like you guys just do whatever you want right now, or are you guys on a regimen that coach sets, or?
Oh no, he doesn't really set
No.
I eat as much as I can on the weekends, and then like once it gets closer to like the tournament or something, then I'll be like, okay, I gotta ease up on what I'm really eating and what I'm putting
Wow.
into my body.
You like a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you? Do you kind of keep it even, or same thing? It's just like, I'm starving now. I got to do it.
Yeah, well, most of the time I just eat whatever, and then like 2 days before I start like toning it down so I won't be over as much.
Sure. Okay. So in all the sports that I've covered, there's always like premium brands, right? Like in basketball, Nike shoes are all the rage. In baseball, a Rawlings glove or a Wilson glove is like top notch. In wrestling, what are some of the products that stand out that you're just like, whoa, that person has these, or you guys have them, and it's kind of a cool thing to have? Is there anything like that?
Yeah. There's Rudis, which is really popular, and there's Asics too. Those are mostly like the ones that people are like, oh, look, he has those. Those are cool.
Okay. And those are shoes?
Yes.
You said Rudis?
Yes.
Okay, and Asics. Okay. I know Asics because they're running like a running brand too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so same thing.
They have style ones too. Like they're getting more popular.
Okay.
Than I thought.
Cool. Anything else like headgear? Anything? I don't know what else, because you guys wear a singlet, the wrestling shoes, and then like, is it optional to wear the? What is it called?
Headgear?
Yeah, it's called headgear. Okay, I didn't want to say that and sound awful, but so that's all you have to wear?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else is there like accessories you guys throw on, or?
I mean, there's knee sleeves, but that's not really like, I guess, popular. That's more for like your like knee health than it is for style, I guess.
Okay.
But some people think it is. It's mostly just the shoe game. It's very, very popular over there.
Okay. All right. What are you guys rocking?
Adidas.
Okay.
Rudis.
Oh, see, so you got some swag to it. Okay. What, like, do you guys get to wear whatever you want? Like, or does coach say you have to wear black ones, or
No.
You can wear whatever you want. Okay. Is there a lot of like flashiness out there in wrestling, or is it more subtle?
Yeah, no, it's
Very
a
flashy.
lot. Yeah. People wear like bright colored shoes. Even if it doesn't, I personally want to match with my singlet, but people be out there like just it'll be like yellow and pink or something
Yeah.
like that, like just outrageous colors.
Sure.
And then the headgear too will be like orange or something, like yeah.
Okay. I know how you had said people jump up and down and slap themselves and get crazy. What's the craziest pre-match routine you guys have seen, if you guys can recall?
Probably just that, like the slapping, like they'll do it all. Like they'll slap their face, then they'll slap their shoulders, then they'll slap themselves or their thighs, and then they'll jump up, and then they'll go to their coach and they'll be like, slap me on the back, and then they slap him on the back. It's like, you do not need to wake up like that.
And they just have handprints everywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I just know it stings. I just know it does.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, so one of my last questions, because when you guys go into a tournament, like other sports, obviously you go from one to the next and it's tiring. How many matches do you guys typically do on a weekend?
Like more than 4.
Four or
Yeah,
more?
it just
Wow.
depends. 4 will be like the max if you're in the winning side of the bracket. And then if you're on the losing side of the bracket, you have like 6, 7, like a lot.
So is it double elimination or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, always?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless it's a round robin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
so give me the update on the status for you guys. How are you guys doing right now and this year?
I think at the beginning of the year I was cooking up. I was doing good. My record is like 17-9 or something.
Oh, okay, cool.
Think so. It's not that bad, but right now I like tarnished it. I think after Christmas break, I don't know what happened, but I just let myself go, and it just hasn't. I haven't been up there, I guess.
Okay.
lately.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, me too. I was doing good in the beginning. I don't know what happened, but my record's like 22 to like 11, I think.
Okay.
Pretty not that very good, I'd say, but
What does coach have you guys doing right now that he's maybe saying, hey, this is what we need to improve on, maybe to get back into the swing of things, if anything?
Definitely just conditioning. Our practice have been like shorter, but like the conditioning and like how fast paced we've been moving is picking it up. Like he
Sure.
keeps picking it up the more time goes on.
Yeah.
We kind of stopped like drilling moves. He does do it a bit, but like towards the beginning of the week, and then as the week goes on, it's just more drilling and faster paced movement.
Okay. Are there any legends in your eyes from Carlsbad? Because I've seen in the basketball gym, there's like tons of champions and stuff like that in wrestling. We're pretty used to having some success in wrestling. Is there anybody that you guys, see on that wall and you're just like, wow, I'd love to do that, or that coach talks about being awesome?
I mean, besides their own like sons, I couldn't really think of much. I know there's a lot of people like on the wall, but I don't know. Mason Box.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Yeah, he's on there. I see his name a lot, but I think he's the one related to Guess, right? Yeah. He's an older brother of one of the wrestlers.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty cool. Like you see him on the wall, and you're like, oh, like I don't know. He's just related to one of the wrestlers.
Sure.
So
Are you guys? Do you expect to be on that wall?
no.
no.
No, why not?
Maybe in like the glass. There's a glass case of like wrestlers that have gone to state and all of that. Maybe there, but not on the wall. You
Why
have to-
not?
You have to be like
Really good.
yeah, like really good, really, really into the sport. Like you have to dedicate yourself to the sport to be on that wall.
Okay.
So.
And there's definitely some girls that are doing that right now in the state.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much. I learned a lot because I had never gotten really deep into the wrestling part of things. We had Jake Fuentes on a couple years ago. He was a state champion as well. But I learned the guy side of it a little bit then. Now I'm learning what you guys are doing. That's pretty awesome. So, I wish you guys the best of luck going forward. And you're going to get back into the swing of things. You guys are going to get it.
Thank
Get to
you.
state. You're going to make it.
Thank you.
Thank you.